Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And we're thrilled to have you join us. And my name is Chi, a trademark attorney from Tilikin Gibbons, Vietnam, and I will be the speaker in today's event. And today we will be diving into leveraging trademarks for e-commerce success in Vietnam. This is a guide for SMEs, but I hope that many of you from big companies or law firms may also benefit from it. We are confident you will find the insights shared today valuable and thought-provoking. And before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes to help the session run smoothly. This webinar is being recorded, and all participants are currently on mute to minimize background noise. We encourage you to engage with us by asking questions. Please use the chat function located at the bottom of your screen. All questions will be addressed at the end of the session. If we run out of time, we'll follow up by email. And your feedback is incredibly important to us. At the end of the webinar, a QR code will appear on screen. Please take a moment to scan it and share your thought. So today I'd like to talk about a topic that is becoming increasingly important for small and medium-sized enterprises in Vietnam. Building a strong trademark presence on e-commerce platforms. As we all know, e-commerce is booming in Vietnam. But while online marketplaces open doors to SMEs, they also bring challenges, especially in protecting and strengthening brand identity. And that's where trademarks come in. In the first part of my presentation, I will walk you through how SME can build a strong trademark foundation. And we'll look at why early trademark registration is crucial, and how to choose the right trademark and classes, and how crafting distinctive trademarks can boost product visibility and SEO. And I will also touch on aligning trademarks with other media tools for consistent branding. And finally, how the Madrid Protocol can be leveraged for cross-border e-commerce. And in the second part, I'll shift to the other side of the story, avoiding pitfalls. Many SME in Vietnam run into trouble with common mistakes, from unclear registration strategies to misuse of trademark by influencers or KOLs. So I will highlight this risk and share preventive strategies that can help businesses protect their reputation and avoid costly disputes. By the end of this session, I hope that you will see trademarks is not just as a legal formality, but it is a strategic tool for growth, visibility, and long-term success in Vietnam's fast-changing e-commerce market. So, over the past few years, Vietnam's e-commerce market has witnessed truly remarkable growth. In 2018, our gross merchandise value stood at just $8 billion US. And by 2023, that figure has surged to $20 billion, more than doubling in only 5 years. And this rapid expansion has been fueled by the rise of leading platforms such as Shopee, TikTok Shop, Tiki, Sando, and Lazada, which has transformed the way the Vietnamese consumers shop and businesses sell. As the chart before us shows, the trajectory is clear. Vietnam is on its way to becoming one of the most dynamic e-commerce markets in the region. With a young, tech-savvy population, increasing decision adoption, and strong innovation from the key platforms, the momentum is undeniable. The e-commerce trading floor carries the majority of e-commerce activities in Vietnam, with the 4 major players: Shopee, Tiki, Lazada, and Sando. Vietnamese consumers are shopping online through other means, social media platforms, and mobile apps. While the social media platforms are quite popular among the Vietnamese consumer, mobile commerce is still an emerging trend. The most popular social media platforms in Vietnam are Facebook, Zalo, TikTok, and Instagram. However, e-commerce platforms are still the most popular online shopping channel among Vietnamese consumers, which is up to 90%. So you know that the increasingly popular of e-commerce in Vietnam, and the e-commerce trading floor carries the majority of e-commerce activities in Vietnam. And now, in Vietnam's fast-growing e-commerce market, standing out is crucial. A trademark brand has the seller to capture the attention, build the trust, and protect the identity in the sea of competitors. With over 90% of consumers driven by brand loyalty and 77% of marketers calling branding key to the growth. Recognizable elements like unique logo, quality products, or a signature packaging turn the first-time buyers into repeat customers. The strong branding doesn't just fight against counterfeits. It creates the loyalty and gives the sellers an edge, especially when paired with the tools like the live stream of TikTok Shop and to tell the powerful stories. So in short, trademarks protect, branding connects, and together they fuel long-term success for companies. So now I will move on how we can build a strong trademark presence on e-commerce platforms. In Vietnam, a trademark is eligible for protection if it meets the following condition. If it meets some following condition, it must be visible representation. The trademark must be a visible sign, which can include letters, words, drawings, images, 3D shapes, or a combination of these elements. It might also include a sound represented graphically with one or multiple colors. This is a new form of trademark that can be protected in Vietnam, the sound marks. And then secondly, to be protected as trademark, it must be distinctive, which means the trademark must be unique and enabling customers to distinguish the goods and services of the trademark owner from those of other entities. First thing first, early trademark registration is a must. In Vietnam, we adopt the first-to-file system. Registering your trademark with the IP Office of Vietnam is a critical step before listing the products on e-commerce platform. Some e-commerce platforms like Tiki or Shopee and TikTok Shop require the sellers to prove the right to sell branded products through trademark registration certificates or distribution agreement. So without registering your trademark, you cannot come in. Well-known trademark may be recognized under the laws, but unfortunately not by e-commerce platform in Vietnam. So trademark registration is always must be prioritized. And in addition, if you don't register the trademark early, delaying registration risks trademark squatting, where the competitors or squatters can claim your brand, and just like someone snatching your seat at a concert. And trademark squatting is for a long time painful reality in Vietnam. And as an IP attorney, I have seen many trademark owners who lost their precious marks to trademark squatters. And the chances of retrieving those trademarks, either from opposition or invalidation or negotiating for the assignment, unfortunately, is quite low in Vietnam. This is partly due to the fact that the IP Office of Vietnam set a very high standard in recognizing a mark is widely used or well known. And even if bad faith is obvious, it takes a lot of evidence to prove that the squatter has bad faith intention in registration of the trademark. And under the law, the total timeline for trademark registration is only 12 months. However, in practice, such period often lasts maybe 1.5 years to 2 years. So to stay ahead, file your trademark at least 6 to 12 months before launching, and as soon as possible. This proactive move might safeguard your brand and ensure a strong presence in Vietnam's booming e-commerce market. Then, so we all know that registering trademark early is a must. So now we will jump into how to choose the right trademark and classes for e-commerce platforms. Selling on e-commerce platform isn't just about listing your products. It is about protecting your trademark in the right way. So here, where many businesses slip up, they don't pick the right trademark classes. Think of these classes like digital store sell. Class 35 is your online retail shop. Maybe you sell cosmetics. So class 3 is your cosmetic sell. You also sell some clothes. So class 25 is your clothing rack. And if you're not in the right cell, someone else could grab your spot. We can take Muzi, for example. They don't just sell notebooks or clothes. They sell many things from cosmetics to furniture to snacks. So to cover all of these product lines, Muzi fills its trademark in multiple classes. And they don't forget to include class 35 for online retail. And that way, no matter what they sell on Shopee, like this, yeah, the shopping mall, you can see a lot of products in here. Yes, so they maybe sell on Shopee, TikTok Shop, or anywhere else, but their brand is untouchable. And this noted that multiple classes application are acceptable in Vietnam. So you can list all the classes that you are interested in one single application. So the lesson is for small business online, your multi-class filing and your insurance policy. They don't just protect your current products. They might future-proof your brand in the fast-paced world of e-commerce. Yeah, you can see when choosing the trademark classes of goods or services, the aim is to choose specifications that are broad enough to allow your business to grow, but narrow enough to allow you to enforce your trademark right. If your goods and services specifications are too broad, you are potentially exposing yourself to a claim for non-use by third parties. And so to this, it may be helpful to consider your current focus of your business, your output, which means the goods and services that you provide, and the expansion potential of your business over the next 5 years. So why 5 years? Because you might not defend a non-use cancellation from other companies if you have not used your trademark in relation to your claim goods or services for at least 5 years in Vietnam. So think about it. Think about the current focus, the good you provide, and the potential expansion when filing your trademark application. Next, is how to craft a distinctive trademark. When we think about trademarks, most people imagine it's just a name, logo. But in today's digital world, trademarks are going beyond that. Distinctive and even non-traditional trademarks like the shapes, the colors, the packagings, or even the sounds of the marks are becoming powerful tools for marketing. Because they don't just protect your products, they make it instantly recognizable and boost visibility on platforms driven by content and SEO. Take Yakult as an example. You probably know that little cup yogurt bottle. It's so iconic that you can recognize it even without the label. Yakult understood the value of this, and then they went on step further. They not only register the trademark, they register the 3D shape of the bottle as the trademark in Vietnam. So that means nobody else can copy it, and that brand and that identity is locked. The lesson here is simple. A strong, distinctive, and even unusual trademark set you apart. For businesses selling online, these marks don't just protect your products. They improve discoverability, making your brand easier to spot and remember in a crowded digital marketplace. In Vietnam, but to register your trademark, we must understand how distinctive a trademark is required. So in Vietnam, a trademark must be distinctive so that consumer can clearly recognize your goods and services. However, not all type of mark can be registrable. Registrable marks include the words, the logo, the symbols, the number, the slogan, 3D shape, as I have mentioned, and sound mark. But they must be distinctive. On the other hand, the non-traditional marks, such as scent marks or color per se. Color per se means a single color without any design or combination, are not registrable under the current law. So while colors may be protected when it's combined with words, logos, or design, a stand-alone color cannot be monopolized. And similarly, scents are not recognized as trademark in Vietnam. So they are difficult to represent graphically and assess for distinctiveness. So now I will talk about the common mistake when crafting distinctive trademarks. When choosing a trademark, many businesses unknowingly pick the names that are difficult or even impossible to protect. For example, descriptive or suggestive marks like yummy for food restaurant services or lightning speed for charging apparatus might sound very appealing, but they are too generic to stand out. And similarly, marks that made up of just numbers or letters or two letters but cannot be pronounced as a word, such as NP, MP3, PX1, etc. Like distinctiveness and that will not be registrable in Vietnam. And another pitfall is using the non-Latin characters like the Japanese, or Chinese, or Korean script. Many Chinese companies make this mistake because they have to consider that the non-Latin characters might not be recognizable by the local consumers, and it's not protectable under the law. And finally, the trademarks with some misleading elements, such as geography indications, such as you name the coffee Colombian when it's not from Colombia, can be misleading. It can be seen as descriptive or misleading and will be rejected for registration. So to avoid these traps, business should aim for trademarks that are truly distinctive, memorable, and capable of legal protection. So when choosing a trademark, it's critical to create a name that's not only memorable and sale-driven, but also legally sound. To avoid prohibited elements such as descriptive or scandalous marks like Milan for non-Latin clothing, which you just opt for the name something like Google or Slego. They are simple, yet unique and easy to pronounce, spell, and search, and ensuring a strong memorability. It must also evoke the positive feelings on align with your audience, avoiding missteps like Chevrolet Nova, which means doesn't go in Spanish. And in Vietnam, once there was an airlines company which has the trademark speed up. Okay, when it is translated into Vietnamese, it is thang thóc. And in Vietnamese, thang thóc means bereavement or grief. So imagine how terrifying the passengers were when traveling on an airplane that is named Grief. Okay, so the company had to change their trademarks to avoid misinterpretation, costing a business a lot of money. And also, choosing a mark which is not too complicated, as it may not suitable for some platforms. You may also test consumers' perception to confirm it conveys quality and builds loyalty. Also, I want to highlight the power of consistent branding across the platforms, the websites and social media to build consumers' trust. You can take Some by Me. This is a global skincare brand that entered TikTok Shop Vietnam in 2023. By securing the trademark with the IP office, and then the domain name somebymeme.vn, and the TikTok handle at Some by Me Vietnam. They created a unified brand presence, in today's online world, consistency is everything. If your trademark says one thing, but your website or TikTok handle says another, the customers will get confused. And confused customer, they don't buy. When trademark, domain name, and TikTok handle all line up perfectly, wherever the shopper see the brand, they instantly know it's authentic. Yeah, you can see TikTok handle by Some by Me and website Some by Me, they use the same brand, the same trademark, so the same hashtag. Yeah, very unrecognizable. This consistency boosted the engagement by up to 25%, as the consumers instantly recognize the brand across the channels. The lesson is clear. You have to align trademarks with domains and social media handles to ensure seamless recognition. And my practical tips here are check domain availability through registrar. At the same time, we're checking trademark availability. So everything is okay before you continue your business. Then we'll move on the next part that the SME should consider when filing trademark abroad. That is leveraging the Madrid Protocol for cross-border e-commerce. Now, when protecting a trademark abroad, business often chooses between filing under the Madrid Protocol or a national application. The Madrid Protocol allows one application to cover multiple member countries and saving time and cost. And however, a national application must be filed separately in each country, which can be more expensive. However, the national route may offer more legal certainty in some jurisdictions, especially where the local practice is strict, like the IP Office of Vietnam. One risk of using the Madrid Protocol is the central attack. That means that if the basic trademark application or registration in one home country is cancelled, limited, or withdrawn within the first 5 years, all the international designation depending on it will also be affected. Essentially, one attack on the home mark can wipe out protection in multiple countries. While cost-effective, this makes the Madrid route more vulnerable compared to the independent national filings. Businesses should carefully assess the stability of their home trademark before choosing the Madrid system. International trademark registration through the Madrid Protocol offers businesses a faster substantive examination, maybe often within 12 months, compared to the 18 to 24 months for national filings. The procedure is also simpler when it comes to recording assignments or amendments or making brand management more efficient. Of note, there is no formal opposition procedure against international trademarks. Only third-party opinions are considered. This is due to the limited time frame for examination of international application. That is the IP office. They cannot provide the opposition procedure against the Madrid application. However, there are some drawbacks to be aware of. Like, for instance, in practice, responses to provisional refusal against Madrid application take much longer for the IP office to review, maybe sometimes stretching from 2 to 3 years, while the national system may only take about a year to obtain a conclusion. So you might consider this when filing a trademark that might face provisional refusal. And when expanding globally, the Madrid system can truly be your passport to international trademark protection. But like any other journey, you need a smart travel plan. And so here I'm sharing some tips when using the Madrid system. Step one, when you have to secure your home base, make sure that your trademark is registered, at least pending locally before you set off abroad to prevent the central attack. And then step two is to pick your destination wisely. Don't just tick every box. It's costly. You might just focus on the key markets. If you do business in the US or China or Vietnam, just tick those countries in the application. And so you might save your budget for where it really matters. And step three, let the WIPO fee calculator be your compass. Budget smart and only protect the goods and services that drive your business. And then finally, protect yourself against what is called central attack. You know about central attack? Keep your home registration strong for the first 5 years, and your international protection will remain firm. Now, in short, treat the Madrid system like a passport. It's valuable, powerful, but only as strong as the preparation behind it. And now we will explore some common mistakes and the sellers make and what to avoid, and some practical tips to ensure that your trademark will not only survive but also thrive through e-commerce era. First is the failure to register trademark early. That imagine building a brand you love, only to lose it in a dispute because you don't register your trademark early. Many SMEs face this painful reality, and worse, the platforms like Shopee and shopping mall won't even let you without the proof of trademark ownership. The good news is this pitfall is completely avoidable. A quick pre-filing search, registering your trademark with the IPO as soon as your brand is born, and seeking advice from the local IP attorney can save years of troubles. Early action is not only protects your identity, but also gives your brand the freedom to grow with confidence. In case you found that your trademark has been filed or registered by others, you may take some action against it, like the opposition for pending trademark or invalidation against registered marks, or you might negotiate for why the mark. And to this end, so here I'm sharing something you could do to reclaim your lost trademark. In case you found that your trademark that you have invested a lot of time and effort has been registered by others. So what should you do? You might take action against it, including opposition, invalidation, or negotiation to buy the marks. And to this end, please gather as much evidence to prove the wide EU status of your mark as a basis for the action. You might gather the bad faith evidence of the squatter, as the evidence of bad faith may be business correspondence, emails. Something may prove that the squatter has known of your marks before they file the trademark application. However, unfortunately, the IP office in Vietnam is quite strict in recognizing well-known mark or bad faith intention. So the chance of success may just only depend on the strength and the volume of the evidence that you provided. And it's in very rare case, the IP office may recognize that your mark is has been recognized as well-known and may refuse or cancel the squatter's trademark. So to enhance the chance of reclaiming your mark, you might base the opposition and cancellation also on the copyright trade name of your company. If your mark is a device mark, you can register it as apply artwork and base the opposition or cancellation on that prior right. I have seen some cases where the IP office accept these arguments, agree that the squatter's trademark is confusingly similar to the owner's copyrighted artwork. Although there might be difficult in canceling the marks registered by the squatters, we still recommend filing the invalidation request to the IP office, as the invalidation is helpful to defend infringement claims and enable you to keep selling your products on e-commerce market. Because there is a cancellation pending, the Vietnam authority will hold off the red action until a final decision from the IP office on the cancellation. And in practice, the enforcement authority is often reluctant to resume the red action even then. So we recommend you to file opposition, take action against the squatter's trademark to keep your business going. You may also negotiate with the squatter to buy the mark, or if the mark in question was registered for more than 5 years, you might consider filing non-use cancellation request. If the squatters cannot provide with the use evidence, the chance of success of canceling the squatter's trademark is quite high. Here is another pitfall. That is the cross-border infringement risk. With the rise of cross-border e-commerce, the businesses face increasing risk of IP violation not only limited to one country, but can happen in many other countries. In 2002, Vinataba, the largest tobacco company in Vietnam, also discovered that the trademark Vinataba had been registered by a company in Indonesia for protection in Japan, China, Korea, and most Southeast Asia countries. Faced with the risk of losing its reputation and export markets, Vinataba has sought to regain ownership of the trademark. Although it took a lot of time, effort, and money, they only managed to regain the brand name in a few markets. So the solution here is to register trademarks for all interested goods and services in all key export markets, and it must be done early. E-commerce, like it's a big market where the products of the sellers from different countries are sold. Meanwhile, many companies like Binataba or even Trung Nguyen is another example. Trung Nguyen is a well-known trademark for coffee in Vietnam. And it was registered as a trademark in the US by a foreign company. And then even the national brands like Phu Quoc fish sauce have appeared on the supermarket shelf in Europe, produced in Thailand, but labeled as Vietnamese. So to avoid it, you should register trademark not only in your home country, Vietnam, but also in all key export markets. This simple step ensures that when your brand grows globally, it is protected globally. When it comes to trademark registration, many businesses stumble over the same common mistakes. One of the biggest pitfalls is choosing a mark that is too generic or too descriptive, something that simply can't stand out. And please note that the IP Office of Vietnam is quite strict in assessing not only descriptive, but also suggestive trademark. Even suggestive trademarks is considered not distinctive and not registrable. So another frequent issue is keeping the trademark search, only to find out later that the mark may be conflict with one already be registered. Some also run into trouble by including some prohibited elements like national flags, misleading description that confuse the consumers, and finally, late filing of vague classification of goods and services can cost your valuable time and protection. So always remember to craft a strong and distinctive trademark that makes your brand truly stand out. And also try simple step of pre-registration search. You can avoid this early with a pre-filing search to uncover the hidden risk and change to another mark, or prepare cancellation action to overcome the potential risk. Another common pitfall for many SME is just focusing on only protection of their brand name, while they overlook other vital elements like logos, slogans, packagings, or even the domain name. This leads to the dangerous gap in protection. Reduces the ability to fight unfair competition and can slow the brand distinctiveness. The solution is to take comprehensive approach, protect all brand elements, the logos, slogans, design, and even packaging at the same time, developing a strategy that covers e-commerce platform, social media, and domain names at once. That means checking domain name availability early and to match with social media handles and to keep your brand consistent across the channels. And finally, protection doesn't stop at registration. You have to take proactive monitoring. It's essentially regularly review the e-commerce platform for potential infringement and take swift action against counterfeit or copycat activities. And by doing this, SMEs not only safeguard their brand's identity, but also strengthen consumer trust and competitiveness in the digital marketplace. And last thing is the trademark misuse by KOL or influencers. So influencers frequently advertise or post views on about the products, the brands on the social media platforms, such as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and providing advice and a recommendation so that many consumers will use in making a purchasing decision. Influencer marketing has become a powerful tool, but it comes with its own set of challenges. One pitfall is trademark misuse by KOL or influencer, which can happen in several ways during the influencer marketing campaigns. The most common instance involves the influencer using a brand's trademarks without permission or using it in a way that breach the brand's guidelines. This could be misinterpretation of the products, misleading description, or even the unauthorized use of some IP rights of others. For example, an influencer might use a logo incorrectly and alter the brand's trademark design, or even link a brand to a controversial cause or campaign without any permission. So in these cases, the brand's trademark can be diluted or confused with another, and leading to legal disputes. And these issues don't just arise from intentional misuse, but can also stem from innocent mistake made by the influencers who may not fully understand the boundaries of trademark law. So in such cases, it is important for the brands to step in quickly to protect their rights. Let me share with you a recent example from Vietnam. Phương Mỹ Chi is a very popular singer, and she once posted an advertisement for a beauty product and claiming that it was a Korean branded product. Sound convincing, right? But here's the problem. Their product didn't actually exist in Korea. So the online community quickly noticed and criticized her and questioned the credibility of both the products and her endorsement. Realizing the mistake, she immediately deleted the post and issued an apology and admitting she hadn't done proper research before posting her Instagram post. But this case shows us a powerful lesson. When influencers or key opinion leaders misuse or misinterpretation of trademarks, whether it is intentionally or not, it can harm not only the brand, but also their own reputation. And because trust is everything in digital space. And once they are lost, they are very hard to win back. And here are some example suggestions to avoid this misuse. The solution is not to avoid the influencers. We still need them, but to work with them wisely. First, we might establish a clear brand guideline so that they know exactly how your trademark should be used. Is your trademark protected? Is your trademark pending? Is your trademark from Vietnam or in any other country? Everything must be true and to be correct. And second, invest in educating the influencers about your brand's identity and values. They need to know everything because before they make the post, and you should review the post before they post it. And third, partner only with trusted influencers who align with your brand's images, and always back this up with the agreement or the contracts that set expectation and to protect your rights. Essentially, there are clauses dealing with trademark use in influencer contract. Such clauses could also comprise penalties for the acts related to trademark abuse or misappropriation. And finally, monitor influencer campaigns regularly to ensure compliance and to quickly address any misuse. With the right approach, influencers can amplify your brand's voice without ever compromising your trademark. This is the end of my today's webinar, and we hope that you got some insight on how small and medium-sized enterprises can strategically use trademark to thrive on Vietnam's leading e-commerce platform. So we are so happy to have you with us today. Please send us feedback or question if you have after scan the QR code. So see you on your next webinars and have a good day. Goodbye.